Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really plunging into this rich story. It's all about what happens after a breakup. You know, the dynamics, the friendships, how messy young love can get. We're aiming to unpack the emotional side of things, especially when exes try to be friends, and how that, well, how it affects everyone around them.
Yeah, what's really striking is how the source just lays bare all those raw feelings. The contradictions that pop up when relationships change, and it shows how fast that personal stuff can just ripple out,
Yeah.
affect the whole group. So our mission really is to figure out why these characters act the way they do, and maybe what that tells us about people in general.
Okay, let's dive in then. Where do we start?
Yeah.
It's right after the holidays. And the narrator, she's clearly feeling this sting because Travis, her ex, didn't call over Christmas, even though he said he wanted to be friends. So she gets back to campus, and she's got all these mixed emotions. Like, she wants to see him, but she's also super nervous, uncomfortable. It's been almost a month since they split.
And that raises a really key point, doesn't it? What happens when you're genuinely trying to move forward, but your daily life, your routine, just keeps throwing you back together with an ex? We hear her say it directly. She's uncomfortable. She's nervous around Travis. It sets up this tension right away.
Absolutely. And you really see it play out in the cafeteria scene. She's sort of looking for him, right? Actively looking.
Yeah.
But when he shows up, it's almost nothing. Just a quick wink, and then he goes off with his fraternity buddies. What's really fascinating here, I think, is how aware she is of him. She's listening to him talk about his holiday drama, trouble with the police, apparently, and hearing about a new girl for their friend Trenton,
Yeah.
all while she's kind of bracing herself, expecting him to brag about his own stuff, but he doesn't. Then when he finally comes over to her table, he's just so casual. Calls her Poulette, asks
Yeah.
about her holidays, and her answers, you can tell they're just not landing. They're totally unconvincing.
And that observation from America and Shepley that Travis seems almost normal or even in absolute well-being, and how they say it's the world upside down compared to how miserable the narrator clearly is, that just perfectly highlights the performance involved after a breakup. America's gut feeling, her suspicion that he's faking it, that's such a sharp insight into that gap between how people act and how they actually feel inside.
So while all that's simmering, you see how the breakup starts pulling other people in. It's not just about them anymore.
Yeah.
And the Valentine's Day dance suddenly becomes this weird focal point. Shepley wants America to go, but America digs her heels in. She says absolutely not, unless the narrator goes too.
Right, and that's such a classic friendship dynamic playing out, that pact they have. We both go out or we don't go out. America's so determined to back her friend up. You see it in how she keeps guilt-tripping the narrator, doesn't she? Reminding her about that time she was sick, bringing up the tissue box, the cough syrup. It's like she's calling in a debt of friendship.
Oh, totally. And the narrator, you can tell she's annoyed, but she can't really fight it. She even throws back her own example, right? About holding America's hair back over the toilet. It's so real, that kind of messy give and take. That's what deep friendships are often like. So anyway, she agrees to go. And then Finch comes into the picture. He's this guy who's in most of her classes. Finch's part is really interesting here. He makes it clear he hates fraternity parties. Says something like, fraternities are against my religion. And apparently he's never asked a girl out before, certainly not to a party like this. But when the narrator kind of jokingly asks him to be her date to this fucking Valentine's Day party, he actually says yes, but only, he says, because you say it's word. So he becomes this like neutral, supportive figure. And later he even offers to take both her and America to dinner instead. Just a solid plan B.
Okay, but then things really escalate. The tension just boils over when America realizes she left her makeup bag at Shepley's, which of course is also Travis's apartment. And inside that bag, her birth control pills. The narrator is really reluctant to go. She makes it clear, I don't want to run into Travis.
Yeah, and you can feel her apprehension building,
Yeah.
but America's just breezing through it, right? Oh, he's out, he's at the red, totally confident, and then bam, that expectation is just shattered. Travis bursts in. The description is so vivid. Staggering, embracing Megan, who is giggling against his mouth, and Megan's holding a box of condoms. I mean, the setup couldn't be more designed for maximum impact, could it?
Oh, it's brutal. Absolutely devastating for the narrator. You see it instantly. Travis acts surprised, calls her Poulette again. But this time, her fury just takes over. No pretending. She just lashes out, dripping with sarcasm. Good to see you're back to yourself, Trav. Ouch.
And this forces us to look at the sheer wessiness of it all. Travis, drunk as he is, suddenly drops his own act. He starts talking about his pain, accuses her of breaking his heart, says he smashed his phone so he wouldn't call her, claims he was pretending to be okay for her sake, and that desperate plea, do you want me or not? You can't continue to treat me like that. It's raw. Then he tries to kiss her, while he still has Megan's lipstick on him. It just shows this complete emotional chaos. He just wants to forget, he says, just for one night. It's like this desperate, misguided way of trying to cope, lashing out emotionally. And the peak of that whole scene, America's reaction. She sees Travis, she's the narrator's pain, and she just explodes. She physically attacks Travis, starts slapping him, shouting at him. How could you do such a thing? She deserved better from you, Travis.
It's incredibly intense.
Right. America's response isn't just anger in the moment. It's this powerful display of loyalty, almost like protective aggression. You know, intervening like that, physically defending a friend. It often shows just how much emotional investment, how much emotional labor is tied up in that friendship. And the fallout from that confrontation, well, it's immediate and it spreads. It hits America and Shepley's relationship directly.
Yeah, that outburst wasn't just a flash in the pan, was it? It clearly had bigger consequences, especially for her and Shepley. How does that ripple out?
Well, connecting it to the bigger picture, America's reaction is basically her taking a stand on principle. Because when Shepley tries to defend Travis, you know, he says something like, Abby broke up with him, he's trying to move on. Which, okay, maybe technically true, but America just turns all that fury onto Shepley, breaks up with him right there. She says, point blank, I can't swallow what I saw tonight, and I can't go out with a guy who defends that kind of attitude. She even throws in that comparison, right? Abby didn't sleep with the first person she met, as far as I know.
Yeah.
It really shows how much she values loyalty and integrity, not just in romance, but across the board.
Which then leads to that really tough moment where Shepley confronts the narrator. He's just completely exasperated. He basically says, if you and Travis could just stop your bullshit, it would help us all out. You two are like a tornado. When things are good, it's great, peace and love. But when it goes bad, you drag everyone down with you.
And that is such a key insight, isn't it, into how these intense back and forth relationships impact everyone else. This idea of relationship triangulation or maybe emotional entanglement. Like Shepley's outburst, while maybe a bit over the top, it perfectly captures that feeling of being caught in the crossfire, that frustration. But then Finch steps in again. The narrator feels guilty, obviously, but Finch gives her this really calming, pragmatic view. He says something like, they made their own decision, Abby. You don't have much to do with it. It's probably true, actually. And then he offers that quiet solution for Valentine's Day again. Just dinner. The three of them, narrator, America, Finch, a much-needed escape route from all the drama.
So January goes by. America's still not talking to Shepley. Travis and Shepley are kind of less visible. But then, the weekend right before Valentine's Day, America and Finch managed to convince the narrator to go out to the Red, the same bar where Travis was with Megan.
And initially, there's this relief, right? Travis isn't there. The narrator actually starts to relax a bit, gets on the dance floor, which of course just sets the stage for the conflict to come roaring back. And what happens next is almost comical in a dark way. Travis and Shepley start interfering. Subtly, at first, then way more obviously. They're basically scaring off any guy who tries to dance with either America or the narrator. It's pure residual possessiveness.
Yeah, it culminates when the narrator actually sees Shepley holding some poor guy by the collar.
Yeah.
And Travis is standing right there just hysterical with laughter.
Yeah.
It clicks for her then. They've been deliberately running interference all night. And when she confronts Shepley, asking why he was stopping guys from dancing with her, she kind of admits it wasn't him, glances over at Travis, you know, then just shrugs it off like, we're just having fun.
Which really makes you ask, why? Why this intense possessiveness, especially from Travis, after what he did just a short while ago? And when the narrator finally corners Travis at the bar, what does he say? The classic line, I love you. I can't let you dance with anyone else. I mean, come on. But her comeback is just perfect, sharp. Oh, really? And how much did you love me when you bought that box of condoms? That just cuts right through it all, exposes the huge contradiction in everything he's saying and doing. It's like this massive cognitive dissonance playing out for him. He's clearly still attached, even if he's acting like he's moved on.
And then the final twist, the real aha moment that brings it all crashing together. She sees America and Shepley, the same two who broke up because of how Travis treated the narrator. And they're passionately kissing, like right there. And Finch, ever the observer, just deadpans. Well, looks like we're going to that damn Valentine's Day party after all.
It perfectly captures it, right? Despite all the chaos, all the hurt, some connections just pull people back together like magnets. It defies logic sometimes. So if we try to sort of synthesize all this, What does this story really show us? I think this deep dive reveals just how incredibly complex relationships are. You've got the lingering pull of that attachment. Then there's the fierce loyalty of friends, sometimes helpful, sometimes maybe not. And the totally unpredictable way forgiveness and getting back together can happen or not happen. We really see that these emotional fights, they're never just between two people, are they? They always pull others in, reshape those connections too.
Yeah, it definitely shows how one couple's drama can feel, like Shepley said, like a tornado hitting everyone else. And maybe it leaves us and leaves you with something to think about. Much responsibility do we actually have for the emotional waves our own breakups create for our friends? And when does being a loyal friend cross the line into maybe enabling behavior that isn't actually helping anyone?